What is common between Soviet Union, Bernie Sanders and all of Indian political parties? It's socialism. And yet, in this world, where each and every country looks up to nations like USA, Australia, in fact whole of the Western society for economic success, what do we find common in all of them? Is that these all nations are capitalistic nations or capitalistic countries. This is mostly because of the political spectrum in the country. Political parties in these countries have unwilling support for capitalism and capitalist economy. Look at any nation like USA, where Republicans and Democrats both highly support capitalism. On the other side of the ocean, look at UK. Labour and Conservative Party both firmly stand for capitalism and its values. And this is not just for these two countries. In fact, look at any democracy, you see where the political parties value entrepreneurship and capitalism, these countries are seen to be highly developed. So here comes an important question for us as Indians. Why does India lack a political front with capitalistic values? And why people don't vote for leaders who want to promote liberalization? For this, we have to go back to our democratic foundations. That is in 1947. Here we will see the first difference between India and other democratic nations. Here in India, democracy is followed by capitalism. That is, here we had rights to vote well before capitalistic institutions were developed. And you may ask, isn't democracy good for capitalism? Well, yes, you aren't wrong. But most of the problems you see, such as throttling of enterprise, slow growth, missed opportunities, used subsidies, and rapacious bureaucracy, are the price we have paid for having a democracy before capitalism. In fact, too much of democracy and less of capitalism. And while yes, we have moved a long way from the times of licensed Raj, our political class still is rigid and corrupt, and still puts politics before economy. I need to mention we had a political class or political party that had liberal values, such as the once known Swatantra Party. And yes, you don't hear more from them nowadays, that's because they don't exist. So yes, it is easy to blame on democracy and political parties for our problems, but it is also a national mindset of getting more attached to socialist and communist values. Just look at the two biggest political parties of today's political spectrum, BJP and Congress. Both are socialist in their values, not ready to take any risk for major economic changes, where in China the Beijing government emphasizes economics at its core. In India, it just comes down to politics. Here you can say China is a communist nation. So here I would like to give you another example. Just look at the difference between India and Singapore. I noticed that newspapers in Singapore carry economic and business news on their front page. That means the economics is at the center of Singapore's agenda. Politics continues to dominate the debate in Indian parliament, in the newspapers and on the street. Therefore, still we don't see really a mass movement for capitalism like there was in the 1950s for socialism by Congress. We are still entangled in the chains of communalism, etc., etc. It was right maybe for that time, but in this globalized world, India's political class can't just sit on the back of socialism and think of bringing change to a billion people. We need new political leaders who can sell liberalism like former Prime Minister Manmohan Singh, P.V. Narasimha Rao and Atal Bihari Vajpayee did. But these individuals cannot propagate their ideology. Only political parties can maintain and actively work for propagation of an ideology. We need a political party which can bring in people from different strata and put them under the hood of capitalism, so that the next generation of Indians can see India where job is put before religion and see politicians who put economy before politics. Thank you for watching.